Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by GoDaddy.
Today on Variant, I cast 2015's Batman vs Superman movie because I can, so I'm gonna. Welcome to Variant. We love comics more than that feeling of relief you get when the cops are on the lights behind you but then speed right past you. I'm your host, Arris. One of the most anticipated movies us comic fans are excited for is 2015's Batman vs Superman film. It's basically the movie I've been wanting my whole entire life, but in order for the film to be amazing, like I know it can be, they need to cast the right people, especially for the role of Batman, and they have to put the right villains in it. So listen up, Hollywood, I'm about to cast this movie for you. Or not. I mean, you can take it if you want it. Let's start with what we know about the movie so far, which really isn't anything except knowing that Batman and Superman will be at odds with one another, as said by co-writer of the script, David S. Goyer, who also co-wrote scripts for Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and Man of Steel. Now, before I go any further, there's something I need to get off my chest. I've been seeing all over the internet people having a problem that Batman and Superman are going to be at odds with one another in this movie. Which to all those people, I flat out say, are you nuts? Because basically what those people are saying is that they don't want to see Batman zipping around the sky in his Batwing, firing at Superman, and Superman firing back with his laser vision, and the two of them just being in a superhero aerial dogfight. Now, obviously that's just an example I made up, but cool scenarios like that are bound to be in the movie. Especially since Zack Snyder is directing it. If there's one thing that man knows how to do, it's give us a visually beautiful movie, all while incorporating awesome action, just like he did with Watchmen, 300, and Man of Steel. Also, one of the best comic stories ever written, The Dark Knight Returns, has Batman and Superman fighting each other at the climax of the comic. And another thing, them fighting each other doesn't mean they're going to be permanent enemies, which, if you think of it logically, that would never even work, because if they stood enemies, they wouldn't be able to make a Justice League movie. So you can pretty much say that the movie will have them at odds with one another for the first half or so of the movie, since they will probably see each other as threats since they don't know who one another is yet, which is exactly how it happens in many different iterations of the comics and even cartoons. I mean, most recently, Batman and Green Lantern were in an all-out brawl with Superman within the first two issues of the New 52 Justice League comic because of a misunderstanding and them never having met each other yet. But obviously they worked everything out, much like they will probably do at the end of the Batman vs Superman movie, only to team up and fight an actual villain or villains at the end of the movie. But that's enough rambling. I just needed to get that off my chest, and now I feel a little better. As for who I would have cast for this movie, well, we already know Henry Cavill will be returning as Superman. That's already taken care of, and he's who I would have cast anyway. I'm extremely happy he's returning. He did a great job in Man of Steel, I thought, and I'm sure he will continue to get better with the character as he becomes more comfortable playing Superman. Basically, I would keep the entire original Man of Steel cast, like Amy Adams, Lawrence Fishburne, Diane Lane, and so on. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. One character who wasn't in the Man of Steel but I think needs to be is Jimmy Olsen. I mean, he's a huge part of the Superman mythos, and the second movie is the perfect time to bring him on board, and I would want none other than Jonah Hill to play him. I mean, first off, he's hilarious, which I think Jimmy Olsen would need to serve as some sort of comic relief in the movie, much like Jon Favreau did as Happy Hogan in the Iron Man films. Plus, Jonah Hill is very likable and has that normal guy next door look, which anyone playing Jimmy Olsen would need to have. On top of that, he's a great actor. As for who I'd want to play one of the most important roles in Batman's universe, Alfred, being Bruce's father figure, medic, and butler, I'm going with the one and only John Hurt, because one, he definitely looks the part, and two, because he has that old wise man yet loving feel to him. Plus, he's a great actor and has been in great films like Alien, V for Vendetta, Hellboy, and the Harry Potter films. Some people might be saying, why not have Michael Caine reprise his role as Alfred? He was fantastic, and you would be 100% correct, he was. But since this Batman-Superman movie is also going to serve as a reboot for the Batman franchise and setting up for the Justice League movie, I say leave everyone from Nolan's Batman trilogy out of this movie. The Nolan trilogy was great and so were the actors in it, but leave them out of it and let's just all move on to a new, less realistic take on Batman. I mean, he is going to exist in a world now with a man who can fly, and let's be honest, that's not very realistic. Moving on to who I think should be the main villain in this movie and who should play him, I think Lex Luthor should be the villain since he makes the most sense after the Man of Steel movie. His LexCorp logo was shown multiple times in the movie, so we already know he exists in the Man of Steel universe, and it would just make the most sense as Lex can tell the public we can't trust Superman. Because of him, Earth was attacked, and more than half the city was destroyed along with a bunch of other places on Earth. And even though he did save us, what's to stop him from eventually going bad and trying to kill us just like General Zod did? And then behind the scenes, he could be building his well-known war suit and or battle suit to combat Superman since he hates him, which brings me to another point. As many times as we've seen Lex Luthor in Superman movies, why have they never put him in his iconic battlesuit? It makes no dang sense. It's like Lex Luthor or Iron Man, pretty much. That would be awesome in a movie. Anyway, they should make this movie the one that finally puts him in his battlesuit, so make it happen, Snyder. For who I'd want to play Lex, I'm going with the rumor that's been floating around already on who's gonna play him, and say Mark Strong. He plays villains perfectly and has that menacing demeanor about him. Plus, he can also play good guys really well, which anyone playing Lex would also have to be able to do, since he would have to be kind and come off charming in the public eye. Now, some of you are like, Arris, he already played Sinestro in the Green Lantern movie, and to that I say, what are you talking about? Like that happened? Like they made a Green Lantern movie? Never knew. Which is weird, considering how much I love comics and all things related. So either that didn't happen, or the movie was so bad I forgot it was ever made. And finally, who I would cast as who some would say, heck, as who I would say the most important part of this movie, Batman, since we already know who's playing the other important part, Superman, but who should play Batman? Now, I've said multiple times before on the show that I want Michael Fassbender to play Batman, and he's still my #1 pick, but for the sake of not saying the same thing over and over, I'm going to tell you guys 2 other people who I wouldn't mind donning the cape and cowl. And those 2 people would be Sullivan Stapleton and Karl Urban. Sullivan Stapleton has the perfect look, especially if they're going for the New 52 interpretation where Bruce is portrayed a bit younger. And on top of that, he's in the upcoming 300 sequel, 300 Rise of an Empire, so you know he can get rocked and be a BA. Then you have Karl Urban, who played Dredd and did a fantastic job at that. And since Dredd has a similar demeanor to Batman, I think Karl Urban can pull it off. He also has a really cool look, so he could make an awesome Bruce Wayne. But those are just some of the people I would cast for the movie and some of the characters and things I would want to see in it. But let me know what you guys think along with some of your suggestions for the movie and who you would cast. GoDaddy Web Hosting delivers the most reliable hosting available. They call it 4th generation hosting, and it offers many features that competitors don't. And right now they got a great deal that will save you some serious cash. Use the code VARIANT1 to get 10% off your order. So, in 1983, someone over at Marvel had the brilliant idea of making a mutant called Ice Cream, who first appeared in Obnoxio the Clown vs. the X-Men issue 1. He had the ability to turn into any flavor of ice cream he wanted. Your ears did not deceive you, friends. You heard me correct. His mutant power was he was able to turn into any flavor of ice cream. But the thing that really boggles my mind is not that someone came up with this idea. People come up with stupid ideas all the time, but it's that multiple people, more than one person, had to approve this concept and let it go to print. So yeah. There you go. Ice Cream. One of the dumbest comic book characters ever invented. First up for Wednesday, August 21st, we have Superior Spider-Man issue 16. It's Run Goblin Run, part 2 of 2. How has the Hobgoblin evaded the Superior Spider-Man for so long? And does that hold the key to the Superior Spider-Man's greatest success or greatest failure? Next, we have Thief of Thieves issue 16. I say it all the time. If you love crime books, you need to be reading this comic. Next, we have Judge Dredd issue 10. If you're a fan of the most recent Dredd movie, you will love this comic. It has fun, action-packed stories and good art. Here we have Pandora issue 3. It's a Trinity War tie-in as both the heroes and villains continue to hunt Pandora down. She makes a crucial decision involving the 7 deadly sins, one that will affect the entire world. Now we have Superman Unchained issue 3. Superman found out the secret the US Army tried so desperately to keep from him, or has that secret found him? And finally, we have Justice League Dark issue 23. It's the Trinity War chapter 5. The Justice League continues to fracture as the murder of the hero is solved and the line between justice and vengeance blurs as they head off to find those responsible. And now I must bring today's episode to a close, but before I leave you, I must announce the winner of last week's Versus episode with Batman Beyond vs. Spider-Man 2099. 73% of you guys voted that Batman Beyond would beat Spider-Man 2099 in a fight. So there you go, the winner of another Versus episode. But remember, you can follow our Variant Facebook page to keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Arris_Quinones. But now I really must go because I'm hungry. I want some food in here. So I think I'm gonna order pizza or something like that. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. And finally, who I would cast as some who would And finally, who I would cast as some who And finally, got this.
You said you've got this like 9 times.
All right.